predictable, and I think, you know, they can be very cynical as well. So if we get a few penalties that are given away needlessly, then the referee might be sending a few of these players to the sin bin. But I think, you know, we talk about the French, are they going to play well, are they going to play badly? Seeing them arrive at the stadium, they look very, very confident, and I think this is one thing that Bernard Laporte has installed in the squad under the new captain Fabien Palus. So I think good things from France this afternoon.
So here come France into the atmosphere that they know so well from their World Cup experience. And we await the arrival of Wales under their new captain, David Young. Scott, and what sort of fresh influence will David bring on the dressing room?
Well, Big Ted, everyone looks up to that guy. You know, he's achieved a great deal in rugby. He leads from up front. He's a very authoritative guy, and I can see this captaincy on David Young's shoulders flourishing. He's the guy to take Wales forward.
And a fair amount of responsibility removed from the shoulders of Robert Howley as well.
Well, you know, sensational sacking. I don't care for that. You know, he's given it to David Young for the right reasons. We all want to see Rob Howley back at his best, and today is the day for Rob. If he performs at his best, you know, he's the guy that can be the linchpin in the Welsh team.
OK, they're in the tunnel. And they can be seen on the big screens around the arena, and the reception for this Welsh side begins as they head down the tunnel. So David Young, the new captain of Wales, so many things have changed in this stadium and in this championship as well. Jonathan Davis is in the commentary position alongside one element that just never changes. Our good friend, Bill McLaren.
And that special magnetism about the opening shots in a new championship is all pervading here in the Millennium Stadium, as well as that distinctive atmosphere with any amount of Cymric Hoyle, as this capacity 72,500 audience settle down for what is the 76th meeting between Wales and France. Wales have won 40, France 32, 3 draws, but Wales in fact are on a hat-trick today as they've won the last 2 in the series. This, the Lloyds TSB Six Nations Championship, the opening match for those two countries, and so important that they get their Six Nations campaign off on a high note. That marvellous musical motivation, the huge inspiration from the choral legions for the Welsh side. We used to be reckoned to be a 6 points of a start to Wales. There, only Jason Jones, Hughes and Ian Goff didn't share in the 34-23 win over France here in August. Experience aplenty in a side boasting 4-2-2 caps, a pack averaging 17-4, abrasive loose forwards, a big back division who've shared 50 cap international tries, and a new captain in his 40th appearance, David Young. France field 10 of the side who shared in that memorable triumph over New Zealand in the World Cup semi-final. Ntamak moved from centre to wing. Castagned fit again, but at full-back for the first time. The La Maison Galtier hinge retained in the shadow of a massive pack with 4 locks in the back 5. One the only new French cap in Mathieu, and with the new captain Fabien Pelouse at number 8. A former schoolmaster who used to play for Cheltenham and Swansea University is the referee today, Chris White, whose first international assignment was Georgia versus Russia, a World Cup qualifier. This his 10th cap international match. The scene set. A lovely afternoon. It's cloudy, but it's dry. This famous pitch here has had a bit of criticism, but it's in pretty good order. Have to remember that it's got to bed down, and there is the new captain, David Young. Tremendous moment for him. As you say, he's captained Wales at Rugby League before, but Wales, as he said, is a rugby union nation, and he's thrilled to be captain of them here. So it's Christophe La Maison ready to get the game started, and La Maison hoofs it well down deep, and right away taken in there by Scott Quinnell. And 4 Welshmen did what they hoped to do, get to Quinnell early. Jenkins feeding and taking back inside to the forwards. Joan Hughes that was. Howley with the high kick. He was practicing that the other day, and that's a good one, although maybe a little bit too far. Galtier was back for the Frenchman. And that's on the Welsh 10 metres line. La Maison, as in the World Cup, remember how he varied his kicking brilliantly. Benazi is up there, but a loud blast from the referee offside. Howley starting it out very quickly. Great running here. Duffy James, the big wing going, gets support. Up to the French 10 metres line. Howley once again. Thundering on there is the loose head prop Peter Rogers. Drive on a bit further. Chris Wyatt helping. A good position here for the Welshman. 10 metres outside the 22. Howley a little flurry there, and it was Ian Goff who fed on. Still Wales winning ball out there from Rogers. Quinnell, thunderous tackle there on Chris Wyatt. Wales with a pile of possession here. Ball retention good. Jenkins' kick charged down, very well taken there by Goff, who takes it up to the 10 metres line of the Frenchman. Howley once again. Quinnell. The crowd here loves to see Scott Quinnell on the charge like that. Good effort once again by Jones Hughes, a big fella out there to the fullback. Howard almost up to the 22. And a very good bit of following up by Wyatt.
Yes, a very good start there by Wales. You know, the ball retention is extremely good, and they have to be patient. What happened there, the ball was very, very slow, and they played lateral rugby. Unfortunately, you know, they had some big hits on them. It's very, very well played, and you know, it's a very enterprising start for Wales.
So just waiting for the throw-in. And it's a pretty big line out that Wales have here. Here, however, miscuing. Taken on there by Mathieu. It's up to the French 10 metres line. La Maison has angled it well. He's found a lot of space. Across comes Howard. There's nobody near him at the moment, so he can take his time. Shane Howard then. A huge hoof upfield taken by La Maison. La Maison, the playmaker, who's played so much of his rugby as a centre now at standoff. The captain takes it a bit further, just into Welsh territory. Mania having a go there, but the Welsh are aware of the fact that Olivier Mania was one of the great forwards in the World Cup. And of course France got to the final. Gaultier feeds outside and then taken on there by Lombard. Lombard, a big powerful centre, almost 15 stones. Gaultier has another little probe. And France now. Thundering run by Benazi. Benazi trying to feed out there. That's the Welsh 22. Referee Chris White reminding them about the offside, but Wales have done well. They've won a good, useful ball, and Jenkins, with a bit of space this time, has angled it pretty well. Back there goes Castagned, and there's a touch of Castagned's artistry from full-back. France seemed to take a risk in playing him, but there you saw a lovely little deft chip ahead.
Yeah, what they've got to do, they can't kick loosely. That's two loose kicks, one by Shane Howard and one by Neil Jenkins. Just so his first touch of the ball, you know, he's looking for a big season this year, Castagned, after injury and a poor Five Nations last year. So they've got to chase these kicks.
Loud blast as the scrummage was taken down. And so there's a little lesson for the French front row, a very experienced front row indeed, with Califano and Tournier both from Toulouse and playing together as the French Pops for the 29th time. And of course they've got the experienced Dalmazo between them.
I think if they have to compete in this game, they have to have parity up front. You know, Benazi lost the ball there, but look, that's a good start for Wales. That's a very, very good scrum for Wales. Not that I know what's going on in the middle of that front row, Bill, but Mr. White seems to know what he's doing. But Gavin Jenkins won't be happy with that. That's two line-outs now. He hasn't found his jumper, so you know you just can't give the ball away.
18th international match. There's an idea of just how big those packs are. The French pack was regarded as a huge one, but they've just got the £1 a man difference. And
penalties now from scrums. One goes to Wales and one's gone to France. So you know, I hopefully the referee would know, but I think the majority of the crowd doesn't know what's going on.
So this is the French throw-in. And there Chris Wyatt, who's been one of the great stalwarts in Welsh line-out play over the last season or so. Great jump by Pelouse, the captain, who usually plays at lock forward, but is at number 8 today. And he's no newcomer, he's playing there for the 15th time. Ball being held on the ground and a penalty to Wales. Dalmazo is the last man to his feet, the French hooker, 32 years old.
Well, the set pieces have been a bit of a shambles at the moment. The two scrums have collapsed. Nobody's won a line-out on their throw-in yet, so hopefully now this will give Wales a platform where to attack from. And I said, I think the ball's there. It's very, very, you know, it's very untidy. Quinnell comes in and Rogers drives forward, and that's it. You know, there's nothing happening.
France taking a couple of forwards out the line out, but a bit of moving around there. Chris Wyatt seemed to be obstructed. However, Jenkins, great one there by Taylor, this powerful 26-year-old from Swansea in his 21st international, 5-6 metres outside the French 22. Jenkins going through. Neil Jenkins all the way, gives it on to his man Duffy James, and just nudged forward. The referee was right on the spot. A brilliant move, with Neil Jenkins showing that he's becoming so much of a rounded standoff half now, with a lovely break, lovely linkage, and well, they came within a metre of a try.
That should have been a try there, Bill. You can, you know, it's a clean break. Look, he gets through, and there's nobody on his inside or outside. You know, the winger should be there. Ontomac does his best to stay in between, and then there's a knock on. A try should have been scored.
So, what can the Frenchmen do here? They've got their standoff half right back up virtually on the dead ball line, but again the scrummage going down, and Wales penalised. This is quite amazing. I've never seen so many collapsed scrummages in such a short time.
No, and it's Peter Rogers again. You know, the French prop was penalised in the first scrum, Califano. No, it was Tournier, I'm sorry, and now Rogers has been penalised twice, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But again, the wasted opportunity there. It's a fantastic break by Neil Jenkins, and the winger should have gone on his shoulder. again, this is a Sinkerson, great play, but unfortunately it's a knock-on.
La Maison has pushed the Frenchman up to there. And of course it's Dalmazo's throw. Dalmazo, who'll be 33 in 9 days' time, has had a decade of international rugby, a farmer, strong as a bullet. Pelouse won it back. Galtier makes the break. Oh, a brilliant run by Galtier. He's got support from Dourt. Galtier once again. That is a brilliant bit of running. The kick on there by Ntamack. Kicked on further. Daffith James was the boy who was back there, but that was brilliant French play.
Yeah, great French play, but that's a good refereeing decision there. He spotted Ntamack offside there from Dourt's kick, and very fortunate that Mr. White spotted that. Great, that's very good refereeing.
Neil Jenkins, safe and sound as he's been so often. Neil Jenkins, of course, and there's Emile Ntamack, who was so much up in that move. His 42nd international today.
I think it was difficult for him to be onside. His momentum had carried him through, and he was in an offside position, unfortunately. But how dangerous these French are from a line out. It's difficult to break, from first phase, but Galtier just goes straight to the middle.
Gareth Jenkins' throw. And there's so much moving about at the line-out nowadays. People are allowed to come in or go out. They can come in from the 5 metres area now. The hooker can go in and help to lift a jumper. Part of the new regulations that are being tried out. Gareth Jenkins. Wyatt came forward but beaten to it. And it's so important to hold your own ball. I mean, nowadays you would expect every team throwing in to win it.
Yeah, just before the throw in there, I saw David Young and Robert Howley talking to each other. It seemed very uncomfortable there. They've targeted Chris Wyatt, and I think last year there was a surprise element. Graham Henry, Chris Wyatt. This year, everyone will have done their homework on the line out.
There's the change again, and that time at least the ball was gathered in by Wyatt. Oh, great attempt to bust through there by Jones Hughes, the big fellow who was born in Sydney. It was a strong Welsh qualification, now playing in his 3rd international. Here he is. You can see what a big fellow he is, 6'3" and over 16 stones. But I've never seen so many big fellas in a Welsh back division before.
They weren't there when I was playing, but I think his strongest asset is bursting through tackles and trying to offload. And Mark Taylor just overrun him there a little bit. He's just got to time his run a little bit better off him. Here he goes, look, he goes in, he goes between 2 defenders, tries to get his hands through it, and Mark Taylor just overruns him a little bit, just give him a little bit of extra yard.
Tremendous tackle by Benazi and the big lad from Sydney. Gareth Jenkins again. And a lovely gathering, beautifully done, Jenkins. Colin Chavez goes thundering forward, but he runs into Olivier Magna. This is on halfway. Lovely reverse pass there from Robert Howley up to the French 10 metres line. Jenkins, oh, beautifully fed along. Was it knocked forward by Howard? Yes, but there was an offside, and there's a kickable penalty chance coming up for Wales here. This fella Shane Howard, who's one of the great intruding fullbacks, picks his time, picks his plays very cleverly.
Again, good refereeing. He saw the French backline had encroached the offside line, and he just played a little bit of advantage and a knock-on, so straight back for the penalty. And Kenny Logan for Scotland didn't have the greatest afternoons, but if you wanted a kicker in your side, this guy would be the man.
Well, there you are, the distance actually to the post, 46 metres. And it's the kind of kick, well, he's done it dozens of times, hasn't he? Even though it's from the more difficult side. There's his record, 895 for Wales, 41 for the Lions, and so he's now 15 ahead of Michael Lynagh's 911 in all, the biggest scorer in international rugby. And Neil Jenkins, who scored 29 points against France here in August. Jenkins, he's got the distance, the crowd will tell you.
It's a great kick, Bill, and it's amazing. He knows how many yards he can kick the ball from. When he trains and practices, he takes the ball, he measures his back, and if you notice, if there's a kick that he thinks he can't reach, he'll go for the touchline. He is a precise kicker.
They've played 15 minutes, Wales 3, France 0. So it's La Maison again, trying the long one this time. Quinnell loves to tilt his lance, doesn't he? Yes, interfering on the floor, putting an arm over or a body over.
I can't understand, Bill, why the French kick to the main ball carrier for Wales. You know, whoever they kick to, it's going to go to Scott Quinnell, and he's going to try and get over the advantage line. Surely if they kick to somebody else, it gives him a little bit more time to get to Scott Quinnell, so he has less yardage to run.
And it's so important, isn't it, Jonathan, for fellas to make those decisions on the field?
Yes, you know, if you kick to Robert Howley, they've got an extra couple of seconds by the time Robert Howley passes to Quinnell to get to Quinnell, so it gives him less space to run.
Neil Jenkins's punt has put the Welsh up to their 10 metres outside the 22. Another lovely take by Wyatt. Jenkins feeding beautifully to Taylor. Back inside to Travis. Oh, it's a lovely effort for Daffydd James. Daffydd James feeding outside, and Colin Jarvis was almost there but just got nudged out of the way. It was a lovely movement by the Welsh backs. It shows you what they're capable of when they spin it wide. The crowd here all on their feet. I thought of a Welsh try to go ahead by 8 or even 10-0. Well, they needn't lift the roof because the roof's not there at the moment. It's been shunted back. Now then, it's Dalmazo's throw, of course. Pelouse is at the back, and it was meant for him, and he took it well. That was very athletic by the French captain, and of course they got a good drive on. Again, going over, a penalty given away. Gaultier very much on the alert there to take a quick one.
And that's the advantage of having Pelouse there. You know, he can just go anywhere in the line. And the back ball is very, very good ball for the back line, especially in an attacking position, but they even use it in a defensive position on the field.
La Maison pushes France up to their own 10 metres line.
It's a great pass by Gareth Thomas there, and unfortunately there is a bit of a question mark over the pace of the Welsh wings, but they're very big lads and they use the ball extremely well, and unfortunately Chavez just checked.
Dalmazo's throw. Beautifully taken it back again by Pelouse. He really is proving France's main ball winner at the line-out so far. Gaultier. Doert with a big kick. Howarth beautifully positioned, anticipated well. That's the highest up and under of the day so far. Gaultier waits underneath it and did brilliantly. That was a marvellous bit of work by the Colomiers scrum half. The technique was so good under that high ball, and he got up in the air, he made the cradle, and he never took his eye off the ball. Great bit of stuff.
Yeah, great take, you know, he just... Chinhouse is usually good in the air, but he just gets above him, gets the arm in Chinhouse's face. But good chasing up by Mark Taylor, and it's a Welsh line-out.
Back they go again, and Wyatt the man. Not the greatest feed, but Howley, lovely and quick on the pick-up. Loud blast, interfering on the ground again. It's amazing, isn't it? Because this new coach, Bernard Laporte, is a strict disciplinarian, and they reckon he'd try to persuade his players not to give away penalties in that fashion.
Well, with defence is so organised these days, you know, why not leave them have the ball? They slow the ball down enough to organise the defence, but, you know, and with somebody like Neil Jenkins in the side, you just can't afford to give it. Wales were very lucky. There was a poor play. They got hands to the ball of Chris Wyatt there, but unfortunately, Califano's lying there and didn't roll out the way, and the referee White is telling him he's not making an effort to roll away. Very slow, and here it comes again, Neil Jenkins.
And the law's quite explicit, of course. If you're on the floor, you have to leave the fellow alone and leave the ball alone until you get to your feet. Now then, there's the distance, 43 metres. That's to the posts. There's hardly any breeze today. The underfoot conditions aren't too bad. A little bit soft, the pitch. And Neil Jenkins, who's got 898 points for Wales. He's kicked 322 goals for them. And is that another one? Don't tell me he's done it again. The Dutch judges looked at each other, decided it was a 22 dropout, and so it stays at 3-0, and they played 19 minutes.
He'll be disappointed with that, Neil. You know, he's quite an easy kick for him, and you can know straight away, you know, by his body angle, you know, he just looks at it and nope, it's not over, and just walks away.
La Maison with the restart, cleverly positioned. Jenkins, Thomas, chance here for La Maison. There's a switch to Pelouse. Full-backs in the line, but a very good tackle. Castagnède thumped down, and Wales have obviously appreciated that danger of that little fellow at full-back. La Maison again, and there, beautifully placed punt. Is it going to roll into a useful touch? Thomas back there. Oh, he did pretty well in a... Well, that's an incredible kick. Now, I never saw you do one as good as that, Jonathan.
I was never in that position. I don't be back there on my own, but yeah, they were unlucky. The ball should have rolled in and the Welsh line out, but this is again good counter attack by France. They get the ball, and I thought La Maison took the wrong option here. He had numbers on the left, but you know, he put a good kick in instead.
So Richard Doort has gone off for France now. He's had an upset tummy over the evening, and really wasn't feeling very well this morning. And so it's not entirely unexpected that he's gone off. He takes a lot of experience with him. He's playing in his 23rd international match. And David Venditti, who's a big burly wing, has come onto the field. He'll be playing his 10th international match. He's out of Brive, and everybody knows what a great club Brive are. Howarth doing well initially, just squirted away from him, but he got his jump right, gathered it in. But France have the scrummage. Shane Howarth, a typical New Zealander, furious that he didn't hold on to that ball.
No, this is a fantastic attacking option for France. You know, with Castagnède full back, this could be very, very dangerous.
Venditti has gone into the centre position, which was occupied by Doort. Pelouse, the number 8 forward, of course, could be an important fellow here, and he was, because they got a nice little tilt on the scrummage, which helped to swing the flankers away from him. They're 5 metres outside the Welsh 22. Drive on by Dalmazo. Tournier is in there as well. Galtier back inside to the forwards. Bruze got it, but he lost possession, and the referee has made it clear that he's seen the knock forward. There's a tremendous bit of work there by the Welsh forward, and here's a great breakout. Full back in the line, that's Howarth. Little kick through by Howley. And the Welsh really have done extremely well to clear that dangerous situation. And they may well be going to win this ball as well. Dominici has gone into scrum half, but forwards decide to do the business. Bruze goes on. Diving in, the referee was playing advantage, none accrued, penalty to France.
Yeah, you can't afford to give penalties away in this position. What they do is just kick the touch, and you know, they've got a great attacking option, but a fantastic tackle by Ian Goff there on Mazur, which stopped the French attack.
And this is La Maison. He's kicking for position to get the line out. Found it just on the 22. This will be an interesting line out. France will want to peel it first of all, suck people in, and then hopefully move their backs. There's the coach and the team manager, David Pickering, the team manager, Graham Henry, of course, the coach. Taken by Mania, who's a great line-out auxiliary. That's the thundering drive on by Légy Mathieu. Galtier, La Maison. Lombard was the man who came in back there to La Maison, and the referee's arm is raised, and well, a marvellous drop goal by Christophe La Maison, who hoists his total to 265 points for France. It's 3-3. They've played almost 20 minutes. And he took that cool and calm as a cucumber.
Yeah, called it very, very quickly. Look, he's back there, plenty of time, no chasers. Just a little strike, and that was an easy 3 points for La Maison.
That was almost as good as one of yours. You got 13, didn't you?
I can't remember now. I had too many bumps in the head as well, but
Jenkins is restart. Dalmazo waits. Thrown down by Duffett James. Back on La Maison again with a huge hoof. Howarth let it bounce into touch, and in doing so, of course, he's ensured that Wales get the throw in.
It was an exceptional kick, no angle at all, you know, just pointed the ball at the toucher and followed through, and eventually the spin took it over the touchline. A great kick.
And he's a brilliant tactical kicker as well, isn't he?
Well, you know, look at the lineouts there, you know, they're not going to form. The Welsh really panicking, but back to La Maison, he's made the position his own. You know, you look at, you've got Penno on the bench, you've got Castagny at full back, and they're very strong at the number 10 position.
Another marvellous jump and catch there by Chris Wyatt. Robert Howley telling his forwards what he wants from them. And he's got it. Jenkins, that was a switch on to Taylor. Jarvis took it further, 10 metres outside the Welsh 22, very good tackle by Magna. And that's a very good ball for the French to win. La Maison going, gives it out to Dominici. Dominici, very well tackled there by Thomas. Now it's Galtier feeding out. Benazi goes thundering on this huge blindside flanker today. Loud blast from the referee. It's going to be a penalty. And it's going to be for offside.
Great interplay there again, you know, the forwards got involved. Benazi took the drive in. He had numbers on his right, but took the drive. Some slick handling nearly resulted in a try, but a little knock on. But Wales are offside, but very, very fortunate once again. Here he goes, Benazi goes, stays on his feet. Watch, he tries to slip the ball. Bang, Tony is in there. Tries to slip it for Califano, and he was clean through. Very fortunate.
Well, there you are, 22 metres for La Maison this time. Good side for him. And some tremendous scoring for France, of course. 265 points he has so far. He's 27 internationals. He took a bit of a snatch at it, but it's gone over all right. And so France are in the lead by 6 points to 3. They played 27 minutes of the first half.
I don't know if they deserve to be in the lead, Bill. It's a very close contest, and nobody's really taken the upper hand yet. The forwards are, you know, killing each other out really, and you know, there's only one opportunity being missed by Wales.
Neil Jenkins, the most capped Welshman of all time, with 74. A good few more to come. Dalmazo once again, the fellow left to do the catching. You'd think they'd leave it to one of the bigger fellows, but they want them to be standing out, causing a bit of bother. La Maison once again, huge kick. Howarth waits. He's got Scott Quinnell with him. Quinnell nicely out to Taylor. Good running effort there by Gareth Thomas, but again the tackle's going in safe and sure. And their bodies going over, penalty to France.
I thought they had the overlap there, Bill, and Thomas decided to come inside. A tremendous tackle, turned him in the tackle, and he just didn't release the ball.
La Maison. Good safe touch up near the 22.
Here's the incident. He's got the outside, but again, you know, they're not very common out of their pace. And Gareth Thomas is a very quick lad. It's a tremendous tackle by Lombard. He just holds him and turns him. Dominici goes in. Manya's there first. Sinkinson next, but he didn't release the ball.
It's the Welsh 22. Palouse once again. There's the rumble and the roll. You have to be careful about blocking off in front of the ball carrier, but deliberately taken down. Actually, they're experimenting with allowing the maul to be brought down, provided you grip the fella by above the waist, I think the idea is.
Yeah, that's a bit unusual because, you know, if you grip him by the waist, you're going to drag him down over your legs, so you can grip him any way you want, really, Bill. The thing is, though, you're going to drag him down, the whole maul is going to come on top of you, so you're the one at the risk of injury. And this, he's going to go for touch, and this just shows the confidence that they're now getting in the French pack.
Yes, in the olden days you weren't given time to tie a lace, you had to pop off the field and do it, but now it's part of the law. And Maison. Oh, that's a pretty useful one.
Here we go, the maul is there. I think Palouse has got the ball, Wyatt's got him, it peels away, and I think it's maybe Garden Jenkins on the bottom there that's taking it down, and that's where the penalty came from. You're right, Bill, he wasn't grabbing onto the upper half of the body.
Garden Jenkins, Wales' most capped hooker. Look at all the fiddling about nowadays. That was Bruce who took it that time after the dummy run forward. That's the Welsh goal line. Little panic stations here. Ian Gough went in and tried to stop the roll, but they've almost made it. Can the referee see he was having a real job because he was completely blocked off? You're not allowed to jump on top of a maul or a raptor in that way. But there's the second drive going in, and they've claimed the try, but the ball was held off the ground, says the referee. Chris White got himself into a good position to judge that one.
Yeah, good decision, and Gareth Thomas did extremely well there. And they all done extremely well to keep that out. They had the momentum. I thought they were going to score. Great defensive effort there by the Welsh lads.
Well, now Galtier wants to know exactly what the backs are requiring from this, but I've got a feeling that maybe Palouse will have a go at a pick-up and a drive. Certainly Wales' fringe defence will have to be on song.
It's a big scrum there by the Welsh, Bill. You know, they got the momentum going forward, and it's a new law now. You know, they can twist and turn, and the referee's got to, you know, they've got to say use it or lose it. So the pressure, they've got to get the momentum going very early.
That's right. There's the possession situation. Nothing much in it really, and of course in the scrummage there's a new recommendation that if the scrummage goes round 90 degrees, the team who put in lose the ball, and the put in is given to the other side. Bit of a worry here with David Young, the Welsh captain, the injured player.
And that's always a danger, you know. That's what the frightening thing, you know. When you're in the front row, or even the second row to a degree, when that scrum twists and turns and goes down, you hate seeing somebody just lying there at the bottom of it, and hopefully David Young will be okay. But again, you know, if there's a weakness there now, the French will try and exploit that and put the shove on.
And of course there's nothing to stop the team not with the put-in wheeling it in order to get the put-in. It's a difficult one for referees, that. There it's gone all the way around again, and Wales get the put-in this time. So there Chris White, who was at the conference in which they decided all those new regulations.
That was a great scrum by Peter Rogers there. You know, he took the initiative, drove forward, the scrum came up on the left, twisted, and then it was head and ball to Wales.
Certainly it's a tremendous Welsh front row with David Young, Garden Jenkins and Peter Rogers. An unbending trio. And there, I think, driving in from the side and causing the scrummage to collapse. The referee quite decisive there. And well, there's the man that might have been at the back of it, Christian Califano. Once did the 100 metres in 12 seconds. Imagine that for a prop forward.
Well, I'm glad they're not chasing him when he has an interception now. It would be very embarrassing.
So Neil Jenkins has found his touch just outside the 22. They played
Yes. Di Pickering there. the ex-Welsh captain, very happy with the scrummage decision.
They played 34 minutes. It's 6 points to 3 for France. Darren Jenkins wants to make sure that he's got the signal right. Tough job for hookers throwing in now to get it right with all the machinations going on. But there, Chris Wyatt beaten to it. Very good bit of work by Quinnell, but Dalmazo has managed to work his way in there and fed it back. Now the attempt to drive on by Mathieu. Just short of the 22. Robert Howley had just a thought that it might have been coming out on the Welsh side, but he noticed that it wasn't, and you see how cleverly Howley blocked the blind side and dealt with his own opposite number there. Good observation there by the former Welsh captain. Maison having a go. Mania knocked out of the way, but body going down on the wrong side. And this is a pretty simple kick for the Frenchman.
Yeah, I think he said that Sinkerson was offside there, not sure. It'd be interesting to see where he was standing when the tackle was made. But another kickable penalty for La Maison, and they've got him in a bit of a stranglehold now, the French pack have, and they need to get a little bit of ball, and for Neil Jenkins to hoof it downfield just to relieve a little bit of pressure.
Certainly this is a pretty straightforward kick for La Maison. Good side of the posts. See, the conditions are pretty well ideal. Slightly soft pitch, but no great problem there. Once scored 22 points against Argentina, 28 against New Zealand, of course, in the semi-final. La Maison then to stretch the French lead. There's a good shot from ground level, gives you an idea the angle for him. French horns blowing in the background. La Maison then. Dutch judges flags are up, and La Maison is doing it again. Third goal by him. It's 9 points to 3 for France. They've got about 4 minutes to go to half-time.
Yeah, the pressure again, you know, they're trying to tackle and giving away penalties. Sinkerson, I felt, you know, I'd like to see it again, but I don't know where he was, you know, when he fell on the ball was definitely loose, and he might have come from an offside position.
Brief stoppage for a moment. A gentleman who wishes to disport himself before this large audience. And an irritation for the players, of course, because you lose your feeling of momentum.
I just think they should put him in the front, you know, the middle of the scrum for a couple of scrums. I don't think he'll run on with no clothes.
Or ask him to tackle Scott Quinnell. Jenkins' restart, and they left it to Bruzy. Now Benazi has driven in. Mountainous French pack. There's Benazi, who born in Morocco, and now the third most capped Frenchman of all time. There's the run round by Mathieu, who was born in Auckland but has played international rugby for Samoa. Now resident and playing for Biarritz, Serge Blanca's old club.
Yeah, I think misunderstanding there by Galtier. He gave it to the wrong runner, and I think he was accidentally offside and scrum to Wales.
Howley beautifully there to Scott Quinnell, but the French have realised the danger too of feeding that big fella. However, he did enough to set the backs moving. Good run there by Thomas, up to within 10 metres of the French 22. Howley waits. Jarvis goes further. Peter Rogers drove past. Jenkins trying a little grub kick through, but a chance to break out. Good effort there. And there's the big kick, as you would expect from La Maison. He saw a huge lump of uncharted territory there with not a soul in it, and that is a superb kick for the French standoff.
They're absorbing everything that Wales are throwing at them. Although Wales are recycling the ball, what they have to do is recycle quicker. You know, the defence is getting organised, and Neil just runs out of patience. He puts a little kick through. It's a bit of a ricochet off everyone. Lombard picks up, and again they're on the attack. They have to get the ball quicker from rucks and mauls. The defences are getting organised. There's nothing to do. They lose patience and lose the ball.
Yes, slow recycling just lets the other team get into position defensively, isn't it? So Gavin Jenkins once again makes sure he's in his 51st international today. Wales' most capped hooker. Bryn Meredith, the previous one, with 34. Oh, that was a great throw. Very well taken by Wyatt. Colossus at the line out for Wales. Howley found a bit of space, but he's also found Ntamak. And Ntamak, well, you can see the size of him. He's already scored 25 tries for France, but good follow-up tackling there. Sinkinson in on it initially. And the catch judge was right on the spot. It went out on the full. And they'll come back to halfway.
Yeah, again, I thought the option was wrong there. Venditti had men on the outside. Just give it and support.
Well, now, that one's not the least bit interested in what's going on anywhere, other than it's a bit noisy round about his environment at the moment.
Well, at the moment he's quite safe there, because Wales haven't attacked for the last quarter of an hour, so he's quite safe where he is.
Quinnell once more. But they may have lost it. However, interference down there. Body over the ball, penalty to Wales. Christian Califano is the man pictured. Tremendous prop forward, this fella. 51st international today, first against New Zealand in '94.
Might just be the opportunity for Wales to get something on just on half-time. The last attacking opportunity of the first half.
Neil Jenkins with another superb kick. That was the drive-through there by Quinnell. But you can see the tackle by Palouse. There was a lot of chat in the papers about those big fellows vying with each other.
Yeah, I think that's Gardier's gone in there, Bill, and just killed the ball.
But it was just not leaving the ball and the ball carrier alone. Just inside the French 22, Howley, Jenkins. Lovely switch there to the big fella Jones Hughes. Colin Jarvis in there, goes over on that far side, but Benazi stops him from going any further. Referee's whistle goes for half-time, and it arrives with France leading by 9 points to 3. Hardly deservedly, but it's a really tough contest, not the high-scoring contest that we expected, but certainly everything to play for, Jonathan.
Yeah, but Wales will have a worry over the line now. You know, they're not getting any clean, good possession to attack from. And I think they've worked out the cause of the line now. They'll have to use Ian Goff maybe, or Colin Jarvis. But you know, I think the French just deserve the lead because of the pressure that the forwards have put on the Welsh pack. But they're still in the game. Wales are now. They have to just pick the pace of the game up in the second half and move this big French pack around.
A penalty goal by Neil Jenkins to 2 penalty goals and a drop goal by La Maison. 9-3 for France at half-time.
Well, it's tight, it's tough. We knew it would be. Let's get the half-time opinion. First of all, from the Welsh point of view, Scott Gibbs.
Well, I mean, they bombed 14 points, really, 2 clinical chances, and it failed to make them pay.
Do you get the feeling in the latter stages of that half, the French control is getting stronger?
Well, I mean, on the French side, they've been very patient. We haven't seen so much of the attack-in plays. But I think they seem to be very, very confident going into the second half. You know, body language will tell you that. Welsh scrum very good, but as Jonathan mentioned there, the line-out possession, which has been very good for Wales over the last 12 months, doesn't seem to be right there. The timing's not there, and when it has been in the earlier part of the game, that's when we've seen Mark Taylor have a half-break support with the back row, and we've seen some space.
And in that early part of the game, came after 7 minutes, what you certainly feel is one of the pivotal points of the half, that missed chance, a break by Neil Jenkins, and it should have been a try, Jerry.
Yeah, you don't often see Jenks make those breaks, and when he gets into space, sometimes he gets a little bit frightened because he hasn't really got the gas, but it was great work. Simple scissors, dummy, and threw into space, and you could be a little bit critical of David James, but he did get there in the end, and it just needed just some cool heads there, but they were all just scrapping over the ball, a little knock on, and a massive opportunity gone. I mean, it just needed to steady himself there, pick it up in his own time, because as usual, you don't think you've got the time when in fact you've got you know, 3 or 4 seconds, which is a long time.
Yeah, Alan Tate, almost too many bodies, too many opportunities in that situation.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be too disappointed if, you know, if I was a Welshman. I think they've played the better rugby, but, you know, the unfortunate thing is France are in front and they haven't really played it as such, so it's going to be very difficult for Wales in the second half. But if they keep playing the way they are, they're asking questions all the time, the French, and they might get a try.
And they need to up the pace just a little bit more, don't they?
Yeah, just keep going, as you say, up the pace a little bit more, but I think they've got, you know, they've got the chances. They're playing good rugby.
Well, Jerry is certainly buoyed by the news that we've had from Twickenham of an emphatic win by England this afternoon, and Alan Tate here is still trying to absorb the news from Rome. Scotland's defeat at the hands of Italy. Italy 34, Scotland 20 this afternoon. We'll have more on that in just a few minutes' time. But England 50, Ireland 18. The result from Twickenham this afternoon, the most points that England have ever scored against Ireland. So let's hear about the performance from Ian Robertson.
England went into this match as favourites for the Six Nations title and looked in championship form as they outscored Ireland by 6 tries to 2, 3 in each half. In the first half, Ben Cohen got 1 try and Austin Healy 2. Johnny Wilkinson kicked 2 conversions and 2 penalties. In the second half, Neil Back, Mike Tyndall and Ben Cohen scored tries. Wilkinson converted 2 and kicked 2 more penalties. The Irish were very disappointing in the first half, their only points coming from a David Humphreys penalty. They did improve in the second half and got 2 tries, Kevin Maggs and Mick Galway the scorers. Humphreys added 1 conversion and 1 more penalty. The Irish face a difficult season, but England can now look forward with confidence to playing France in Paris in a fortnight.
Welcome to Wales on Saturday. We'll be returning to the Millennium Stadium for the second half, of course. We'll also be catching up on only day's news from the world of football, the Nationwide League, the League of Wales and the Premiership. But first, let's go down to Angharad at the Millennium Stadium. Angharad, Wales trailing at half-time. Is it pretty subdued down there at the moment?
Well, here at the Millennium Stadium, I've been watching the game pitch side, and the atmosphere is just absolutely incredible, OK? Wales have got a bit of work to do in the second half, but I'm sure that they'll be able to pull through, and the crowd are definitely 100% behind them all the way. As soon as the final whistle is blown here, we'll be bringing you match highlights of this game and the one in Rome between Italy and Scotland, and what a cracker that one turned out to be. I'll be in the studio with JJ Williams and Gary Teichmann, who'll be telling us their thoughts on Welsh and French play today, and Stuart Davis will be down here to get some reaction from the Welsh players as well. So we're really looking forward to that, Ian.
OK, thanks, Angharad. We'll hear more from Angharad in a moment, but first to the video printer, and let's catch up with all the latest football news at the moment, and scores starting to come in at the moment, and as you can see, Scunthorpe and Cardiff City are level 0-0 at the moment at Glanford Park in Division 2. Wrexham are losing 2-1 at home to Wycombe Wanderers at the moment at the racecourse, while Liverpool, the big game in the Premiership, lead Leeds by 2-1. Liverpool 2, Leeds 1 at the moment. I can tell you that Manchester United are convincingly beating Coventry City, and Bradford City were leading Arsenal by 2-1. But let's go over to the racecourse, the latest news in the game between Wrexham and Wycombe Wanderers, and the details from Steve James.
Well, we're just about to enter stoppage time. We're waiting to see how long that will be. I suspect only about 2 minutes. Wrexham throwing everything forward now. They've gone to 3 at the back. They've brought Andy Morell on because they're trailing 2-1. It started very well for them. They scored after 22 minutes. A Brian Carey crossed the centre half, would you believe? And it was headed in by Falconbridge, 1-0. Shortly after that, a good run by Kevin Russell, which the keeper turned onto the post, and you really thought this could be an afternoon where Wrexham could go on and have a good win. They were looking for their 5th win in 6 games, but in the second half things have not been anywhere near as good. It's not been a good game, to be honest, in this second half, but Wycombe Wanderers have got a couple of goals. Bad defending allowed Ryan to make a run into the area and Brady to finish off to make it 1-1 9 minutes after the interval, and then with 77 minutes played, a Dave Carroll 30-yard free kick screamed into the roof of the net. We've got 3 minutes of stoppage time, it just says, and the scoreline is Wrexham 1, Wycombe Wanderers 2.
Steve James at the racecourse. Derby County 2, Sheffield Wednesday 3 is the latest score coming through from Derby. But let's go over to Glanford Park. Scunthorpe against Cardiff City. Billy Eyre in charge, of course, for Cardiff this afternoon. Latest news comes from Rob Phillips.
And a satisfactory afternoon, I think, for Billy Eyre. Ian, it finished Scunthorpe United 0, Cardiff City 0. A game Cardiff could ill afford to lose. They probably had the best chances, if truth be told. Andy Legg's throwing went the nearest, believe it or not. Legg threw in after 35 minutes. Morton Hildegard, the Scunthorpe goalkeeper, made an absolute hash of flapping for it, pushed it towards his own goal. Richard Logan cleared off the line. Matthew Brazier also had a chance in each half, and at the other end, Steve Torpey, the former Swansea City striker, Scunthorpe's new signing, went closest for the iron, but it finished goalless. Scunthorpe United 0, Cardiff City 0.
Rob Phillips there at Glanford Park. Hartlepool 1, Shrewsbury 0 is full time from Division 3. From the Premiership, Sunderland 2 and Newcastle 2. 2 goals for Kevin Phillips of Sunderland. They were trailing 2-0 at the Stadium of Light. Didier Domi and Helder scoring for Newcastle. Oxford 0, Blackpool 1. 2 struggling sides in Division 2 at the Manor Ground. Gillingham 3, Stoke 0 from the Priestfield Stadium. Scunthorpe 0, Cardiff City 0. And Colchester 1, Bury 3 as a result from Division 2. Also in Division 2, Bristol City 3, Chesterfield struggling 0. That's good news for both Wrexham and Cardiff. Bolton 3, Blackburn Rovers 1. Nathan Blake scoring the goal for Blackburn. I can tell you, I think the latest or the final score from Derby is Derby County 3, Sheffield Wednesday 3. Sheffield Wednesday were 2-0 up and then 3-1 up, but Derby have hit back. Millwall 1, Oldham 0. A Paul Shaw penalty in the final seconds could have earned Millwall 3 vital promotion points. Leicester City were leading Middlesbrough 2-1. Bradford City were leading Arsenal 2-1. Aston Villa 4, Watford 0 was a later score. Manchester United were leading Coventry. Southampton West Ham was a late kick-off. Didn't start at the Dell till 3:30. Full time from Division 2, Burnley 1, Bristol Rovers 0. And the latest score from White Hart Lane was Tottenham 0, Chelsea 1. Liverpool, I think, have won by 3-1 against Leeds at Anfield. Dietmar Hamann and Patrick Berger scoring 2 of Liverpool's 3 goals. Lee Bowyer scoring for Leeds. A reminder, Cardiff City have drawn at Scunthorpe, and that Wrexham were losing 2-1 at home to Wickham. There it is, Derby County 3, Sheffield Wednesday 3. Malcolm Christie equalising for Derby in the final minute there. Full time from Scotland, that's a shock at Parkhead. Celtic 2, Heart of Midlothian 3, and Dundee winning 3-0 at Motherwell. First Division, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2, Crystal Palace 1, and Nottingham Forest 1, Manchester City 3 is a latest score, or a result, I think, from the City Ground. Wrexham are now losing 3-1 against Wickham at the racecourse, and that's a bad result for Brian Flint's side, who won 2-0 in midweek over in Scunthorpe. Danny Sender there scoring the 3rd goal for Wickham, and that, now I can confirm, is a result. From Division 3, Hull City 2, Brighton 0 is a result. Norwich 1, Walsall 1 from Division 1. Chris Llewellyn, the scorer for Norwich at Carrow Road. Leicester City 2, Middlesbrough 1 is a result from Filbert Street. Just a reminder that Wales on Saturday will be on air after the full-time whistle at the Millennium Stadium, bring you all the reaction to the day's rugby and to the day's football. Full-time from Division 3, Torquay 4, Halifax 0. I can tell you that Avion Williams, formerly of Barry Town, was amongst the goal scorers there. Let's now join Jonathan Davis and Bill McLaren.
And so it's Neil Jenkins ready to get this Lloyds TSB Six Nations Championship match underway in the second half. France, of course, have lost their last 2 games to Wales, and Wales are on a hat-trick, but obviously it's going to take a tremendous effort by Wales to pull this back. Conditions still ideal here. The lights are on, of course, but a packed audience. It really is a wonderful atmosphere, and already the Choral Legions are at work to try and pull a bit extra out. Neil Jenkins gets the second half started. Galmazo again was the man who dealt with the kick-off. It's apparently his job, where it goes to that long one. La Maison. It's another superb punt by him. It really is tremendous. Howarth took the quick throw in, gave it to Quinnell. Quinnell, the whole Welsh crowd rise to their feet when he tilts his lance like some animated water buffalo and creating just as much damage. They're over halfway. Howley. Good break by Taylor. He's a big, strong lad. His father Ivor, who played for Newport when they beat the Springboks in '69. Jenkins up to the French 10 metres line. Nicely away from Howley. Rogers thumping along there at a full 3.5 knots, I would have thought. A great chance if they move it wide. Quinnell. Quinnell gunning and taking it on himself. Got it out to Taylor. Taylor further, tackled by Galtier. Thomas. Oh, the pass was behind the big fella. Duffy James, if that had been in front of him, who knows?
Yeah, I think that Scott Quinnell had an overlap there of, 4-on-2 or 4-on-1. Del Mazo. This happened later on, and just Gadi does a great tackle to get to Thomas, and the pass is just behind David. But earlier on, Scott Quinnell, Del Mazo, two backs on the outside, should have given it another opportunity. They can't go wasting them, and as Scott Gibbs said, they need to score first.
Del Mazo's throw taken again, need I tell you, this time by Bruze. Toulouse thundering away. This is the French captain in great. Oh, look at the dummy. A wonderful run by the big lock forward. And he really was shifting. Mania is up to take it on a bit further. Benazi blocks over in front to make it easy to switch the ball. La Maison with a real chance here as it comes out along the line. If they could have shifted that with some fingertip stuff, they could have got a try in the corner. And the little fella there, Thomas Castagnette, was a bit disappointed, and so is Big Lombard there.
Yeah, great run there, Pillow. Just goes to the middle of the ruck, throws a couple of dummies. He's got Galtier, unfortunately not the quickest these days on his shoulder. Again, they recycled it a little bit slower, and they should have got it wider, quicker. But Sinkerson holds it up there, and Lombard was very unfortunate. He tripped while doing the run around in midfield.
Good Welsh scrimmage, it held, and Quinnell moved across to protect. Out to Howard. His kick charged down by La Maison. Another aspect of La Maison's play, his vision and feel for positioning was excellent there.
Yeah. What he should have done here, you look at him coming, he's sprinting. His only thing, one thing is why he should have just dummy kicked there and then cleared. La Maison was too close to him.
La Maison, a key man in this French back division now, the most creative of them all, with Castagnette away at full-back. There he goes again. It was high by Quinnell, and yes, Tournier, number 3 there, the French prop forward, was going to take the law into his hands, but obviously some aspect there of Bernard Laporte's coaching, but it is a yellow card, and so Scott Quinnell will go off the field for 10 minutes into the sin bin.
I'm not sure if this is as bad. Well, yeah, the arm goes there. He does grab onto it. It's not. He didn't follow through or anything. Maybe a bit unfortunate to get the yellow card there. He's gone, and he's got 10 minutes in the bin now, and that could be a big part in this game. They're in a stranglehold once again early on in the second half, and they just can't afford to lose Scott Quinnell.
And it really is a dead loss for a side now, because as Jonathan said, Wales are going to have to play a man short, and the big fella you can see is annoyed. It's always a problem, isn't it, for a big guy when a smaller fella cuts inside him?
Yeah, I don't think that was a reflex thing. He didn't really smash him with the forearm, and no, there would have been complaints. I think he went to grab him and he ducked a little bit, so yes, it was a penalty, but maybe not deserving of a yellow card. And as I said, this is now a big 10 minutes for Wales.
And an interesting decision in the French camp. Bruze, the big lock forward of almost 19 stones, has gone off, and Thomas Lievermont has come on. Now he's a back row forward, so the likelihood is that Benazi will move up from blindside flanker into the lock forward position alongside Mathieu, and Lievermont will take his place in the loose forwards. Meanwhile, a very important kick for La Maison. This could stretch the lead to 9 points. The horn's blowing. La Maison certainly got the distance. But the touch judge had a real good look at it, decided that it didn't go over. The main touch judge was Giovanni Morandi, the Italian, and so it stays at 9-3, 6 minutes of the second half played.
It wasn't an easy kick-up, Bill. I was surprised, you know, that maybe with a man short, could have gone for the line out and driven the line out, but only 6 points in front. Maybe they were looking for a bit of a cushion.
Castagnède feeds on to the big man in Tamac. And there's Benazi now. The French have upped the ante here. They know they've got an extra man. Lovely switch back inside. Oh, some magnificent running. The prop forward was in. Castagnède almost got to the line, 10 metres short. But it was a lovely bit of work by Califano. He was the man who linked. Obviously went the wrong way insofar as France are concerned. Dominici making a great run, and there was Califano, the prop forward.
He was in great position there, Mr. White, the referee. I could see it from the angle here. It was definitely a forward pass, and a good break by Lombard. Very fortunate to get away with the forward pass, but excellent refereeing there by Mr. White.
Robert Howley made the go up the narrow side, and France transgressed in going round and blocking off unfairly and illegally. Neil Jenkins. Now then, Graham Henry's reaction there.
Was that the reaction of the incident of the sin binning? He knows the importance of that decision now, and he's just kicking his heels there in the tunnel.
Jenkins and around to Jones Hughes, taken back inside by Mark Taylor. Howley once again. Jenkins, but he's given it to Castagnède. Castagnède, look how quick he is. Gets away from Jones Hughes, and there was a high tackle by Colin Charvis. You may get the double penalty award to France, and it's almost in front of the posts. Yes, Castagnède knocked down there. It was high. The law refers to above the shoulders.
This is the incident. It's late and it's high, and if anything, now that deserves the yellow card more than maybe Scott Quinnell, and I think that's losing his patience there purely because, you know, it was a poor kick by Neil Jenkins. But again, the ball's coming too slow, and they need to pick the pace up.
The touch judge there is Brian Campsall, the Yorkshire schoolmaster. But a yellow card hasn't been given, but it is a penalty because the player was taken out after he kicked the ball. If you watch here, there was the tackle. It was high. It was a bit of a cuddle. It didn't look to me to be all that vicious. But the fact is, in that case, you get a penalty where the ball alighted if that's further forward, and that's what the French have done.
I think he's very fortunate there, Billy, with Scott Quinnell's incident, that he could have been having a chat to Scott Quinnell in the tunnel.
Meanwhile, La Maison has a chance to make it 12-3. There's a great shot again from low down. Gives you an idea of what the kicker sees. La Maison. Yes. You can almost bank on him knocking that over. 12 points to 3, France lead. They've played 9 minutes of the second half, and that's a big lead in a game as tight as this.
Yes, and again, they're not having any field position. They're kicking badly to Castagnède, and at the moment, the French are in total control.
And of course, there are a lot of Frenchmen and French women in Cardiff, all over the place, and thoroughly enjoying this situation, of course. Neil Jenkins' restart. Didn't give it to Dalmazo that time. They left it to Benazi, but he lost it. Manier obstructed his man, but the referee was right on the spot. He saw the knock forward, and so Wales will get the scrummage.
Yeah, first offence there. The knock-on was first. He could have maybe played advantage, but you watch it here. Jinx is trying to get on the ball, and Manier is holding him. But yeah, you know, first offence, knock-on.
Scrimmage have gone round the 90 degrees, and they reckon under the new regulations being tried out, if that happens, the other team get the put in.
This guy is on top form at the moment, Manier. He played extremely well for France in the World Cup, the form player, and of course is doing well in European rugby.
Ball was knocked forward, but in any case France would get the put in. It went round 90 degrees, and that's the new law in operation. It's a tough one for the referee, because the team not putting in might deliberately swivel the scrimmage in order to get the put in.
The pressure is on you. You know, you've got to understand that Scott Quinnell isn't on the field, and Chavez is there. What he should have done was a channel 1 ball, which is a quick release, and so that they don't put pressure on the forwards, on the front 5. Just quick release, give it a hold in away, and again they've been put under pressure, and it's a penalty.
Get away from the situation on the floor, said the referee. David Young, the captain of Wales, of course, having captained the Welsh Rugby League side. Great man of Leeds and Salford in Rugby League.
I think somebody needs to grab the game with a scruff of the neck. No, they're always relying on Neil Jenkins to keep them in contention, to win them games, but at 12-3 down, they need more than Neil Jenkins now. Somebody's got to, you know, bring himself into the game and not look at other people to do it for them.
21 penalties conceded altogether in the game so far. They're 10-12 metres outside the Welsh 22. Dalmazo's throw picks out his man perfectly. Palouse once again, he's done almost a sole man job throughout this match at the line out. Now it's Galtier, La Maison, and Tamak coming in with a very good tackle indeed there by Jason Jones-Hughes. Pick up Sinkinson, Jenkins out to Thomas. Thomas away, chased across by La Maison, caught by Dominici, gets it back inside to Taylor. They're up to halfway, good bit of work there. Sinkinson once again. Howley goes, Jenkins, little boxer sidestep there, but there was absolutely no way through for Neil Jenkins. He really did the best thing in a way.
No, I think the wrong option there. They didn't have much space on the narrow side, and he keeps looking up at the clock. The clock's ticking away. They're not making any impression on this French defence. Watch this, Benazi. Thank you very much. Welcome to the game.
13 minutes of the second half gone. 12 points to 3. France lead. And Palouse once again. La Maison, Benazi. Good thumping tackle there by Colin Jarvis in halfway. La Maison once again probing and searching. Thomas. My gosh, Howard didn't have an awful lot of room. Big kick away. La Maison. Castagnette. Well, you won't often see that, and Wales will breathe a sigh of relief, because there was oceans of space there, wasn't there, Jonathan?
Yes, the option was right, that the pass was very bad and put Castagnette under pressure. He was hoping for a kind bounce. It's a tremendous tackle by Colin Jarvis here, which led France into kicking, and Mazon kicking downfield. But now they have the opportunity, a good attacking position, centre field.
Ball held in and fed from Jarvis. Howley. Howard the full back up. But no way through. French tackling has been very secure, and once again referee saying you've got to get to your feet before you play the ball on the ground. La Maison noticed there was nobody back there. This will be interesting. Big Y out in front of the post. Taken there by Taylor. Taylor almost through, couldn't quite get the pass away. Pick up by Sinkinson. He's tackled and thrown down. Dalmazo in there, and so was Lombard. Now a chance. Thomas, who's been playing centre for Cardiff, looking very good there too, but on the wing today. Quinnell back on the field after his 10 minutes in the sin bin, up to the Welsh 10 metres line. Wee bit slow in recycling, but Jenkins gets it out to Jarvis. Oh, brilliant bit of work by Galtier. Castagnette. Dalmazo. This is a wonderful passage of play now. All along the line, there's an overlap here. And in fact, maybe he went too far, but Magne has scored. Magne supporting brilliantly. The first try of the match, and what a star of a try it was. After a wonderful bit of play, 17 points to 3 France lead. They played 16 minutes of the second half, and Magne has scored his 4th try in a French jersey in a Cap International.
Yeah, superb try, but I thought Castagnier took the wrong option. This is poor play. He's got an overlap. It was an easy try. The defence is coming. You can't see anyone in the shot there, but there's two men outside of him, Magne. Chenoweth does extremely well to hold him up, but hits the ball, hits the floor, and is this forward? Nah, it's back. Magne, good open side flanker. That is a try, but he made a very difficult task of an easy opportunity there, and very lucky to get away with it.
La Maison puts over the conversion. It's 19 points to 3 for France. They played 17 minutes of the second half, and that is a crucial score.
It all came from a turnover again, Bill. You know, they tried to run from defence, 2 bad passes, give the French defence opportunity to get across there, a turnover, and all of a sudden they're all attacking on the left-hand side. And now it's a big, big task for Wales.
Jenkins restarts. Bruze was the man who gathered in. Benazi thunders on, or does a bit of pulling. Gaultier, clever. Peter Rogers hauled out the road there, quite illegally. Dalmazo goes a bit further. They're almost up to halfway. Now it's Gaultier. Great run by La Maison. And Welsh 10 metres line. Oh, another run by Magne. Clean through. Can he feed out Dominici? And it's a try for the fullback Castagnier, and that really puts an end to it. It's an astonishing try, and in just a couple of minutes France have run away from Wales. 24 points to 3, they win. 18 minutes of the second half gone, and the baby-faced assassin has done it again. Thomas Castagnier.
Here we go, it's Magne again, he's there. He takes Jason Jones-Hughes, steps out of tackle, that's a bad tackle, missed tackle. He gets through, he can't afford to do it. It's a lovely pass, you know, he's got vision. Dominici thinks he can get there, thinks again, and just gives it to Castagnier, who just has an easy try. Again, look, that's the vision of Magne, the number 7. Dominici is there, and just a flick pass. A nice easy try for Castagnier.
And there was a wonderful tackle by Gareth Thomas that almost prevented the try.
But you can't afford to miss tackles in centre field, and Jason Jones, who just misses a one-on-one, especially with the French backline.
La Maison with 14 points already. Wonderful shot of this attempted conversion. Oh, look at that. You see, you can't miss when you're going along like that. And so, another conversion from La Maison. It's 26 points to 3 for France. And they played almost 20 minutes of the second half. No wonder the banners are being waved about there. Magne is the man who collects it. Pelouse plays at scrum half. La Maison once again sensing the open spaces and putting in a huge punt. That's a monstrous kick, and so beautifully thought out.
He's just controlling the game, you know, the forwards are doing the job for him. They've got the upper hand, he's kicking and just controlling markers, and also second phase ball, third phase whatever, they're just spreading the ball extremely quick. Here he goes, you know, Castagnier, that's a very, very simple try. But it's good support play, he had to be there, and Graham Henry now thinks that we'll see the character of this Welsh side because there's 20 minutes to go and they've got real confidence now.
Howley out to Jones-Hughes. Howley once again. Quinnell. The French have marked Quinnell, but they didn't retire, and it'll be a penalty to Wales. Howley has taken it quickly. Found a little bit of space, but Manu got him eventually. Peter Rogers tries to drive. Howley. Jenkins. There was an attempted high tackle there against Jenkins, but not 10 metres back, and another penalty to Wales.
But again, you know, it's so slow. You know, they're just picking up and driving. They're all creeping up in the back line. They're not deep enough, and they're not going to break any organised defence down the way they're playing at the moment.
Change in the Welsh outfit. Geraint Lewis of Pontypridd comes on and takes over from Colin Chavez of Swansea.
Geraint Lewis, if anything, is the form back row forward. You know, apart from Quinnell in Wales at the moment, he's doing an exceptional good job for Pontypridd, and it's nice to see him have the opportunity.
Jenkins punting the penalty to touch. Finds it on the 22. Now they're going into the last quarter now, and well, is it a question, Jonathan, of throwing caution to the winds and just having a look at it?
Well, they have to. There's nothing else they can do. You know, they've got to, as I've said, pick the tempo up, and somebody's got to just take the game to the French. They don't look anything threatening. You know, the defence is well organised. They're sucking everything up. You know, they just seem to be quicker in thought and in pace.
Throw-in wasn't straight, and France take the scrummage. Galtier, who's had a very good match, thoroughly experienced, of course, and Galtier, of course, putting into his own club hooker here, Dalmazo. Both of them play for the Colomiers club, and that's a help as well, especially now that the international board have said they've got to put it in straight. Pick up and drive. Lee Vermont was the lad who did the drive first of all, one of the two brothers who played 10 times together for France. Back there is Howarth. Howarth had Thomas inside him. Looked for Thomas, but the interception, and Dominici did extremely well to go in there and get the ball released. Benazi has a little go, but could only go sideways. Galtier ferrets once again. Quinnell just misses him, but Simpkinson doesn't. Simpkinson cleverly getting his body round to block the ball being fed out. Rogers goes a bit further. Great to see prop forwards on the run. Right a bit low in the water, most of them, but that was a good thrust by him. There's Jones Hughes having a go with the big fellow who was born in Sydney in Australia. But very strong Welsh connections, and now... Yes, Howley was being obstructed there, and once again taking it quickly. They hadn't retreated. Venditti was the man who got him eventually. Geraint Lewis goes a bit further, but...
This could be another yellow card, I think. Venditti, professional foul, and off you go. I don't think he knows the rules because he's wandering back to his position. There is a change of ruling, Mr. Venditti, and you're on the sideline for 10 minutes, please.
David Venditti, who plays for Brives, once scored 3 tries in a match against Ireland in '97. This is his 10th international, but he's off to cool his heels for the moment. Now then, Neil Jenkins just making up his mind to kick for touch at the corner, and well, Wales badly need a try here. They've got the chance. They're inside the 22. It's their throw-in.
Yes, they gotta score now. Clock's ticking away, but there he goes. Geraint Lewis just goes in. I can't see Venditti in shot there. It might have been for an earlier incident on Robert Howley, because he's not in shot.
Yes, the sin bins for repeated infringements, for foul play and for professional fouls.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Wales have won their line out. Geraint Lewis went in and got the body over. Wyatt had a go. Howley gets the ricochet. Brugier does the tackling, still on the French 22. Geraint Lewis has another go. Put down by Brugier. And the French are stretched right across line abreast across the width of the pitch. Now the chance. Back inside to the left winger. Howley has a go. He's caught by his opposite number, Gaultier. Darren Jenkins was first in there. Jones Hughes has a go. Bit of space out on the left. But Wales really haven't moved very far. They've retained ball pretty well, but they really haven't got very far. 10 metres back, and the referee is waited for advantage.
Yeah, they're just soaking everything up again, not quick enough, and you know, Scott Connelly's running away from his support again, but does well to get it back.
Howley, Geraint Lewis. Oh, Geraint Lewis once again, great charge on. There's a lovely bit of work. Ian Goffinish. Both of them were in it. The referee was right on the spot. You see how well positioned he was. Look at the position he took up, Chris White. Great bit of refereeing. A real feel for what was happening. Ball was held off the floor, no try, but they came close.
Great play here by Geraint Lewis. He gets the ball, times the pass, and again that's a brilliant pass. He should have gone lower. Body angles was wrong. A tremendous tackle by Manya, holds the ball up. He should have gone lower and maybe gone for the try line, but a tremendous tackle again by Manya. But Geraint Lewis, two great passes in that sequence of play.
Geraint Lewis in his 6th international today, but his first as a replacement for Chargers against the Springboks in '98. And there was the all-embracing tackle by Manya on Jones Hughes. They were as close as that. Jones Hughes, of course, is 6'3", so it's so difficult for him to get down into what you'd call a good driving position, but right enough. If he'd been lower, he might have made it.
It's a great tackle though, Bill. You know, just take something to stop and turn a guy and keep him on his back.
And this is Manya, isn't it? He's a marvellous athlete, he's a ball carrier, and he's a tackler.
He's a tremendous player. You know, he's been involved in the try. He stopped the try there. It's just incredible. And it's the gain in efficiency. You know, it's very equal all round. The thing is that they've just taken their opportunities. They've strangled, you know, the game, and they played most of the game in Welsh territory.
And there's Olivier Manya, tremendous force. Outstanding, as Jonathan said, against New Zealand in the World Cup semi-final match. Known to his pals as Charlie, for some reason. And playing initially out of the Brive club, but now out of Montferrand.
And if you see the white tape on the jerseys of some of the French players, I think that's in respect of Mathieu's little girl, you know, who passed away unfortunately, and it's brave, very brave of him to be playing this afternoon.
Chris White of Llanelli is the injured player, and that's a real blow to Wales, because he's been their outstanding forward for the last season and a half. Mike Voyle is ready to come on, also from Llanelli. This would be his 22nd international, so he knows his way around an international pitch, and there already he's giving instructions that have probably come from the coaches. Mike Voyle, another big guy, 6'5" and 17 stones. They're also well fed nowadays, aren't they?
They are, yeah. I think, you know, words of advice from the coaches: pull your finger out, I think, because they need to do something.
Now then, what can Wales make of? That's a great thrust. And the penalty's given in front of the post now. Will Wales go for the 3 points, or will they go for a score?
If that goes across again, you will be in the bin.
I think they need more than 3 points, Bill. They have to. I think they'll re-scrummage and go again. The pressure is on Tonier now. Mr. White, the referee, said, "You could do that again, and you're in the bin."
That's Frank Tournier, as Toulouse prop forward. And this will be interesting. Darren Jenkins usually does a bit here, but it was all a dummy run. That was Scott Quinnell thumping on. Great stuff to see him in full charge, almost there. It's just a matter of getting the ball out and over the line. Jenkins with the pass. Gareth Thomas, I think, was in at the bottom of that, but it'll still be Wales's ball.
A tremendous tackle there by Dominici. Incredible tackle.
Scott Quinnell going over, but the ball was stolen from him, and there are French bodies piling all over the place there. Ball went forward. It'll be a scrummage.
It's a big mistake there, Bill. You know, Scott Quinnell lost the ball in the drive, and now they'll relieve the pressure, but they'll have to scrummage first, and they are under a lot of pressure in the scrummage.
We think that Spencer John may be coming on to replace Peter Rogers. Spencer John, the Cardiff prop forward, and Peter Rogers going off. And so Spencer John, another big lad, 17-12, but his first cap against Scotland in '95 as a 21-year-old, and he was playing for Llanelli.
Yeah, I think they've got to look at youngsters now. There he is, 17, Spencer John. Geraint Lewis is there, Mike Voyle. They've got to look at the next World Cup and, you know, try and get these youngsters playing in the Six Nations.
No pens, lads, we're here.
Well, there's a 26-year-old replacing a 31-year-old at the loose head prop position. Now then, this is going to be a difficult one for the referee to decide. Will Wales try and turn it to get the put in under the new experiment? Driving him.
Well, that's Spencer John, you know, it's first input of the game was a free kick. I think he was driving in. Again, not that I understand much of the front row. It'll be interesting to see what Alan Tate, Gus Scott and Gibbsy think of the front row battle as well.
Maison taking his time. We've got only about 9 minutes left. And he's kicked wonderfully well all day. He's been really the most important Frenchman out there.
Yeah, and this guy coming on now as well. It's a good time. This guy is Shane Williams. He has got electrifying pace. It's a bit daunting for him to come on now. He looks about a 12-year-old, doesn't he? And hopefully we'll see him get some ball in hand, because he is a fantastic runner.
So we've heard a lot about this lad. He's just 22 years old, and he gets his first cap. That's out of the Neath club, so they'll be thrilled down at the Knoll about that. Quinnell taking the short pass there and driving the midway between halfway and the French 22. Yes, it was almost a good pass, and it certainly would have opened up the play.
Yeah, I think that's you know, one question mark about playing flat. Sometimes you know, look at this. It's a great pass, the right option. You know, he tries to get out the outside shoulder of Mazzo, but you need Gareth Thomas running onto it. We're not running onto the ball at the moment because we're playing a little bit too flat.
Dalmazzo's through the French 10 metres line. Toulouse made a dummy run, but it went to Bruzy. Oh, there's the loose ball from Mania, and a real chance as Jenkins went away. The referee said the ball went forward twice. Now it'll be interesting who gets the put in, because Neil Jenkins was away in the clear just now.
First offence again, Bill, and it will be a Welsh line, a Welsh scrum. And it was unfortunate because a little knock on, because it was a lovely pass by Jason Jones-Hughes to put Jinx in the gap.
Dalmazzo is going off, and Rafael Ibanez comes on for his 31st cap. That's him on the left now. He captained France 21 times, and he's captain of Dax. So Ibanez, vastly experienced, is there at hooker, pick up, and the pass on there to Geraint Lewis. He's really playing a storming match since he came on as a replacement. Yes, the defence line is so tight that Wales aren't able to create anything, and Mania has another go. Mania, oh, beautifully away. Some wonderful running now by the Frenchman. Ibanez carrying it on. Dominici going into Welsh territory, but it went forward, and they'll scrum it again.
They do look very threatening, Bill, don't they? When they break, it's just the depth that they come from.
And there, the Lloyds DSB Six Nations Championship man of the match here at Cardiff, Christophe Lamaison, and I don't think many people would argue with that.
And I think, you know, everyone says that the importance of the pivotal role number 10 in the game is diminishing, the importance of it. Dominguez won the man of the match in Rome, and now Lamaison has won the man of the match in Cardiff. So it doesn't matter what kind of play or style of rugby you play, you need someone to orchestrate it, and number 10 is the best position.
You would have picked up quite a few of those things.
I wouldn't have mind playing behind this French pack at the moment, and of course someone like Mania, he would have been close for man of the match, and unfortunately I think he's leaving the pitch at the moment. Unfortunately he's leaving a little bit too late for Wales.
Yes, getting a tremendous ovation, Mani, as he goes off. I think people realise that he's played another stormer today. And ready to come on is Serge Betsen, who plays for Biarritz, Serge Blanca's old club. He got one cap against Italy in '97, that was in Grenoble. And so he's really only played 21 minutes of cap international rugby so far. And Richard Smith is coming on at scrum half for Wales, Rob Howley going off, and that's an interesting first cap as well. Richard Smith of Ebbw Vale, the 26-year-old, formerly of Sale.
Yeah, he's playing well, and maybe, you know, a lot of people say an unfashionable club, Ebbw Vale and Neath, but it's a delight to see Shane Williams from Neath and Richard Smith, you know, coming on to get the caps.
Thomas in midfield. He's been playing well as a centre for Cardiff. And here's Jenkins once again. Jones Hughes almost cleared. Jenkins doing very well. Out to Williams. This is a great burst by the Welshman, but the last pass going astray, and France have retrieved it again. Yes, and Tamak running back. He's a great big fella, and he's found an avenue through there. Lovely pass out, and a super tackle there by Williams. But this is great stuff. Betsen going on. Lovely handling. Goes out there to De Villiers. La Maison going. Feeds on there to Betsen. Galtier almost worked the ball away right at the face of the Welsh post. Benazi thumps in number 6 here and pulls the body over. And but Body's diving on the ball. The referee decided to let it go to see if France could make a try of it. They couldn't. They'll get the penalty instead, and it's easy for them.
That's great play, you know. Defence maybe wasn't great. Broke the first line of defence onto Mark, and it was just great support play. Betsen was involved in a couple of occasions. Ibanez, you know, the two substitutes, and it was just beautiful rugby to watch. And if they'd have gone right at the end, I'm sure they were scored in the corner. A fantastic move.
There was Ntamak, this big 6'4" centre, and Ibanez coming inside. Strong bit of running by him, trying to get his place back in the French side, former captain. And Betsen was the man, but we're back to La Maison. This is just a little chip kick. And La Maison is having another super day. Yes. 5 penalty goals, a couple of conversions. It's 29 points to 3. France lead, and I reckon they've a couple of minutes to go, plus a bit of injury time. The French supporters just delighted.
You know, it's been a very professional performance. You know, they've soaked everything that Wales, you know, threw at them in the first 20 minutes. A couple of missed opportunities by Wales, and now they've paid for it because they've come back. They've strangled the Welsh pack, and more importantly, they've made the most of their opportunities. They attack from deep and at pace, and that's the difference.
Left-footed kick, that one to Howard. Shane Williams, this laddie can ripple along. But Ntamak is away, and I don't think anybody can catch him. Tremendous effort there by Richard Smith, but Ntamak has scored, and what a day for him, because that's his 26th try for France, and well, that seals it, doesn't it? 34 points to 3, France now lead. They've had a devastating second half. They've made scores whenever they were on offer, and there was one offered beautifully to Ntamak.
This is unfortunate. He gets tackled. He tries to get the pass around the body. Unfortunately, he goes to Ntamak, and he has the pace to go from near 50 yards. I think he did try something there, Shane Williams. You know, David Young just had a tap on his shoulders when he went back, and I hope that doesn't destroy him. You know, he tried something. Unfortunately, the ball went to this guy, and he just flew in from 48 metres.
Yes, and Ntamak has scored his 26 tries against 11 countries. Big lad born in Lyon, and of course a star with the Toulouse side, who of course one of the great clubs in the whole of world rugby. Meanwhile, La Maison, the most difficult kick he's had this afternoon. The crowd fairly quiet. because they realise that Wales have been well beaten in this second half. La Maison trying to pull it through. Oh, can you imagine? Another superb kick, just as difficult a kick as you could imagine. 36 points to 3, France lead Wales, and I reckon that they're into injury time at the break.
Yes, they just, as I said, controlling the game. Dorth is all smiles, Mani, La Maison, and it's just they've been very, very clinical today. Very powerful up front, very clinical behind, and all orchestrated by La Maison.
Jenkins' restart. The ball had gone forward, so they'll have the set scrummage, and again the French put in, and they've got Alain Penaud has come on as a standoff half. La Maison having been rested after his tremendous efforts. Le Souk, the little scrum half is gone. Oh, great effort by Betson. Handed on beautifully to Penaud. Lombard goes further, that's the big centre, and that certainly is a marvellous riposte again by the Frenchmen. They've made 60-70 metres in that handling run. Le Souk, there are bodies out on the left, but it's taken in there by Ibanez.
Yeah, I think Scott Quinnell went over the top to kill it. They cleaned him out, but he just slowed down possession a little bit, and they're trying everything now. They've got, just stand up and take the tackles. I don't know why he's going for goal. Pelouse, 36-3 up with 81 minutes gone on the clock. I think the game is safe, Bill. But now he's going for the kick.
It'll be interesting to see if Castagnède kicks the goal. Actually, he's done quite a lot of kicking for France, and he is indeed going to have a go.
I think he's slightly embarrassed by it all, because I would be taking a kick at goal, 33 points in front, to 82 minutes on the clock.
In any event, he's kicked 41 conversions, 21 penalty goals and 4 drop goals for France. He's actually scored 217 points altogether in his 32 international. And once again, what a lovely shot of the angle that he's got. Castagnède then. No, he's not bad at it, is he? Came off the upright. Good thundering run by the lock forward Ian Gough, who started it out. There's Williams away. That's what this Welsh crowd has really been hoping to see. That little fella picking up his feet on the wing. There's another go. Smith waits. Jenkins. Awkward one. There is a chance here as Howard feeds out. Now Thomas has a bit of space. And Thomas, as we all know, can run. Thomas with the dummy. The very good tackle by Castagnède, who has his jersey pulled over the top of his head. Thundering on still. Oh, great effort there as the ball went loose, and Thomas Lievermong has started out now. Benazi. This is a marvellous rugby now. De Villiers has taken it a bit further. And Tamak goes. Tamak with the dummy. Dominici. Dominici is away. And Dominici, was he taken out?
I think it's very fortunate there, Bill. He had a foot in touch just before he kicked the ball, and there's a final whistle.
And indeed, no side has arrived, and France have won a convincing victory by 36 points to 3. It's been a tremendous second half performance by them. They've scored, 4 brilliant tries, and of course La Maison has kicked just about everything. And really, Jonathan, you can't argue with a score like that, can you?
No, the forwards laid the platform, they dominated. Wales had to defend, a lot in the first half, and that might have tired them up for the second half. But again, when they attack, they're the best team in the world. They attack from depth. They come at great supporting angles, and the tries they scored were all most of them from turnovers. So, a comprehensive win for France, and that will set them up for the rest of the Six Nations. The confidence they gained from the World Cup is incredible. There's the first try, Mania. He just great support play, and he's a tremendous player. But Castagnède done a difficult job there. There's the second where Castagnède just strolls on again from a turnover, and that was the end of the match, really. Again, you had Orntamax strolling in from the unfortunate pass by Shane Williams, but the job was done before that, and I think that picture says it all, doesn't it?
And so there you are, France.